My mom mocked my daughter's handmade gift on New Year's Eve, then my son hit send and the group chat went silent. Hi, I'm Steven Gonzalez, 38, and on New Year's Eve, my mother looked at my daughter's handmade gift and said, "I don't wear trash from kids who aren't really mine." The thing about moments like that, the ones that split your life into before and after, is that they never arrive with a warning. No dramatic music, no countdown, just a dinner table, a little girl holding a gift she made with hope, and a grandmother who crushed it in a single sentence. Anna didn't cry, she just blinked. Once, twice. She was 8 years old and already had the kind of restraint grown men pay therapists to learn. Brian, my 12-year-old son, stood up, calmly, almost too calmly. "Perfect," he said, holding up his phone. "I got that on video, and I already hit send." The room went rigid. Jacob's kids stopped laughing mid-sentence. My mom's face drained so fast it looked unreal. My dad set down his coffee like it had turned poisonous, and I just stared. I'd always told myself I could absorb the damage, that my job as the oldest son, the responsible one, the dependable one, the one everyone leaned on, was to take the hits so my kids wouldn't have to. But I'd been wrong. The blast radius of that one sentence hit all of us, and the look in Anna's eyes told me this wasn't the kind of wound time simply covered over. That night, after I tucked her into bed and told her I loved her more than anything, I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. I didn't open social media, I didn't email my parents, I opened Excel. I started a spreadsheet. 10 years of financial history, every dime I'd funneled into my parents' lives while they quietly ranked mine as second tier. Mortgage payments, insurance policies, property taxes, repairs, vacations, bailouts for Jacob, birthday gifts for kids who weren't mine but somehow always needed saving. The total blinked back at me from the bottom of column E, $214,337.89. I stared at that number until sunrise, and then I picked up the phone. The first call I made that morning was to my bank. I canceled the automatic transfer, $1,200 a month, every month for 8 straight years. That alone was over $100,000. Next came the credit cards. I pulled mine off their auto-pay settings. Homeowners insurance? Gone. Property taxes? No longer my problem. By noon, 17 financial lifelines were cut. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even shaking. I was still, methodical. The second thing I did was write a letter. "Dear Mom and Dad, after careful consideration, I am discontinuing all financial support effective immediately. Attached is a detailed record of contributions over the last decade. The total is $214,337.89. I wish you well." No accusations, no yelling, just facts and finality. I printed it, folded it neatly, and mailed it with a thick stack of itemized proof. Let them see it all, every transaction that kept their life afloat while they told my daughter she wasn't really family. The messages started that night. First, the furious kind. "You ungrateful bastard! How could you do this to us? That video was edited." Then came the desperation. "Please call. Your mother hasn't stopped crying. You're blowing this out of proportion." Then came Jacob. Group text, of course, always with an audience. "Wow, Steven, destroying the family over one comment? You're punishing everyone because your little adopted snowflake got her feelings hurt? Grow up." I didn't reply. I didn't have to. Brian was sitting beside me, quiet, focused. He looked up, handed me his phone again. "You think I should post it?" I didn't answer. He didn't need me to. The next morning, the video hit our extended family's group thread. No commentary, no caption, just truth. Clean, brutal, undeniable. And silence. For a while. Then it all detonated. Calls from aunts I hadn't heard from in years, DMs from cousins who'd always suspected something was off but never had proof, and a voicemail from my Aunt Amanda. "Steven, I saw it. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry."
That woman in the video isn't the sister I thought I knew. My parents showed up at my house the next day. I didn't invite them in. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. My mother's face was streaked with mascara and panic. My father looked carved from stone, hard, cold, and convinced he was right. "You need to stop this," she said. "You're humiliating us." "No," I said, calmly. "You did that yourselves." "You're blowing this all out of proportion," my father said, voice low and clipped like I was a business deal going off script. "It was one comment." "One comment," I repeated, staring at him, "in front of both your grandchildren. One comment that told an 8-year-old she wasn't real family. You know how many comments like that she swallowed over the years?" My mom opened her mouth. I raised a hand. "Don't." She looked smaller suddenly. Not innocent, not fragile, just cornered. Her usual hard edge was crumbling at the seams. "Stephen, please," she said. "We're going to lose the house. That bracelet thing, it came out wrong. I didn't mean it like that." I didn't yell. I didn't flinch. "Then what did you mean?" I asked, "when you called her trash?" My father stepped in. "She was caught off guard. You know your mother doesn't always filter. But you're really going to punish us for a slip?" "No," I said. "I'm holding you accountable for a decade of slips, for the subtle digs, the skipped birthdays, the way you praised one set of grandkids and treated the others like an inconvenience." My mom's voice cracked. "We've always been proud of you. You're a rock. You're the one we could depend on." "Exactly," I said. "You used that dependability like a blank check, and when it came time to give my daughter even a fraction of what I've poured into this family for years, you spat on her." "We'll lose everything," my mother whispered. I nodded once. "That's what happens when you bite the hand that feeds you, Mom." I turned and walked back inside, locked the door. 3 days later, they missed their mortgage payment. The first default notice didn't show up instantly. Life doesn't work that way. But the consequences started moving, quietly and relentlessly, like gears finally turning. Jacob called, furious. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he snapped. "They're your parents." "They're Anna's grandparents too," I said, "and they made their choice." "You're going to let them lose their house over this?" "I let them treat my daughter like she didn't belong for years. Now I'm just letting reality catch up." He hung up on me. That night I sat on the couch beside Brian. He was doing homework, headphones half on, pencil tapping like he was keeping time with his own thoughts. "I'm sorry you had to be the one to hit send," I said. He didn't look up. "I'm not." "Still, you shouldn't have had to fix what I didn't stop." Now he looked at me. "You did now. That counts more." I nodded. Then he went back to his math. And I sat there, realizing that a 12-year-old had done more to protect our family in 10 seconds than I had in 10 years. A week after the confrontation on my porch, my parents' church group held their monthly potluck, a long-standing tradition. My mother always brought her famous apple pie, the one I'd quietly paid for year after year when groceries ran low. This time, she didn't bring pie. She didn't bring anything. She barely showed up. Because someone brought a projector, and someone, not me, not Brian, played the video. Word got back to me fast. Aunt Amanda called me that night. "Stephen, it was brutal," she said. "She didn't even deny it. Couldn't." "They needed to see it," I said. "They did, and they believed it." The fallout was immediate. Calls went unanswered. Invitations to brunches disappeared. Church friends who'd known them for 20 years suddenly couldn't make eye contact. My father left a voicemail. "Hope you're happy. You've ruined us."
"Your mother can't even leave the house." I didn't respond. Instead, I pulled up the county records online and printed what was publicly available. Notices, timelines, the dry language of consequences. I didn't send it to them. I just wanted to see it. See what it looked like when a decade of disrespect started showing up in black and white paperwork. Brian saw the stack on the table. "Is this their house?" he asked. "Was," I said. He didn't say anything for a moment. Then, softly, "Do you feel bad?" And the honest truth was, I didn't know. I should have. I'd been raised to equate other people's pain with my guilt, but this didn't feel like revenge. It felt like gravity. They stepped off the ledge. I just stopped catching them. 3 days later, Jacob called again, this time quieter. "They're getting kicked out, man. They have 60 days. "They've had 10 years, I said. "I gave them $5,000. "That'll buy them half a month, I said. Silence. Then, "Why are you like this?" "Why weren't you?" I asked. "Where were you every time they called me for money?" "I thought you didn't mind." I almost laughed. "Of course I minded," I said. "I just thought that's what family did. But you know what else family does? Protects their own. They don't call an 8-year-old trash and expect to keep living like nothing happened." He hung up again. 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail. Handwritten, loopy cursive. My mother. "Dear Stephen, I'm sorry, truly. I lost my temper. I lashed out at a child. I've watched that video a dozen times. I hate the woman in it. I know she's me. Please forgive me. Please don't let us lose everything. I'll apologize. I'll change. Just help us." I read it once. Then I folded it neatly and slid it into the drawer. Because here's the thing no one tells you about guilt. It only works when you haven't already paid in full. The house went up for auction. A quiet notice tucked in the classifieds, wedged between ads for pressure washing and pet sitting. It didn't feel dramatic. It felt clinical. I didn't go. I didn't need to. Not long after, my parents moved into a cramped 2-bedroom apartment across town. No yard, no dining room with chandeliers, just beige walls, thin carpet, and a landlord who didn't take emotional manipulation as currency. They called again. Not to yell this time, to plead. "Stephen, please," my mother whispered into the voicemail. "We don't even have internet. I can't keep up with appointments. I can't find anything. I feel like a prisoner." My father didn't call at all. Not once. But Jacob texted. "They're not eating well. They can't afford their prescriptions. Anthony asked why Grandma doesn't smile anymore." I didn't know what to say. I stared at the message for a long time. Not because I didn't care, because I finally understood the difference between caring and fixing. "I'm sorry they're struggling," I typed, "but I'm not responsible for their choices." I hit send. Weeks passed. Spring thawed the sidewalks. Brian won a regional science award, and Anna made honor roll. We celebrated with pancakes and cartoons. Not a party, not a performance, just joy, private and safe. Anna hung a new drawing on the fridge, a sketch of our family, me, Brian, her, and our house. No grandparents, no shadows. She didn't even bring them up anymore. But then one night she asked it, "Do you think Grandma ever meant to be that mean? Or do some people just forget how to be nice?" I set down my book. She was in pajamas, legs tucked under her on the couch, eyes curious but cautious, like she wasn't sure if speaking their names would undo the healing we'd built. "I think," I said carefully, "some people never learn the kind of love you give. So when they see it, they don't know what to do with it. They get scared, or jealous, or mean. But that doesn't mean your love was wrong. It means they were." She leaned against me, small but growing fast. "I like our family better," she said. "Me too, sweetheart," I told her. And I meant it. Because for the first time in years, our home wasn't weighed down by the ghosts of obligation. Just the warmth of 3 people who finally knew where they stood. The second letter came on a Tuesday. Same shaky handwriting, same cheap envelope. No return address this time. "Dear Stephen, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even expect a response. I just wanted you to know, I see it now. I see all of it. What we did, what we didn't do. I thought love was automatic, that it came with blood, that if I birthed you, that counted for something. I didn't realize love had to be earned again once you have grandkids. I remember the look on Anna's face when I said what I said. I think about it every night. That moment plays on a loop now, and I wish I could go back. But wishing doesn't buy groceries, and it doesn't fix your furnace, and it doesn't undo the damage. I'm not asking for money, or a house, or even a relationship. I just want you to know I'm sorry. For all of it. For Anna, for Brian, for making you invisible when you were the one keeping the lights on. I was proud of you, Stephen. I just never figured out how to show it without taking from you. Your mother. I read it once, then again. Then I folded it, slid it next to the first, and closed the drawer. There was no satisfaction, no relief, just the quiet ache of too late. The fallout kept unfolding. At church, my parents had become pariahs. The video had made its way into private Facebook groups, WhatsApp threads, even the neighborhood bulletin board. Grace, the woman who'd played it at the potluck, refused to apologize. She stood by it. This wasn't gossip, this was accountability, she told Aunt Amanda. People didn't invite my parents to brunch anymore. They didn't ask about Jacob's kids. Their Christmas card list got shorter, then shorter again. At one point, my mom tried to start volunteering at the church food pantry. The director gently told her it wasn't a good time. They lived in that beige apartment for 4 months. 4 months without Brian's robotics demos. 4 months without Anna's drawings. 4 months of realizing that the warmth they used to feel at family dinners wasn't coming from the roast beef. It was coming from the people they never appreciated. Jacob still tried to salvage things. I know he meant well in his own way. He invited us over once, a barbecue, low stakes, just the cousins. I said no. Not out of spite, but because I knew Anna would hear things she didn't need to hear. I knew Brian would sit in the corner and shrink, and I knew I would spend the whole evening performing fine when we weren't. I chose peace over appearances, and that decision changed everything. We started new traditions. Friday movie nights where Brian picked weird sci-fi and Anna made popcorn with too much butter. Saturday morning pancake competitions, judged by Anna, rigged in favor of whoever made smiley faces. Summer camping trips where phones went off and stars went on. One day, Anna painted a big canvas, just colors and shapes, all chaos and joy. She held it up proudly. "This is us," she said. "We don't match, but we go together." I hung it over the mantel, and every time I walked past it, I remembered something important. We weren't leftovers from a broken family. We were survivors, builders. We were choosing each other deliberately, freely, without apology. Summer faded into fall, the kind where the air smells like wood smoke and change, the kind where kids grow 2 inches between the first and last day of school. Brian turned 13. I took him and Anna to an arcade. Not a party, just the 3 of us with greasy pizza and blinking machines. He barely looked up from a physics textbook he'd brought in the car, but once we got there, he loosened up. Beat me to air hockey twice. Let Anna win once.
That night, as I was locking up the house, I caught him taping a new drawing of Anna's next to his desk. She'd made it that morning. Him as a superhero holding a giant robot over his head. "Thanks for being her safe place," I said quietly. He didn't look up, but he smiled. That same week, Jacob reached out again. Not a group text, not a guilt trip. A simple message. "I get it now." He followed up with a call. We hadn't spoken since the fallout. I almost didn't answer. But I did. His voice was different, slower, less of that salesman shine. "I saw it," he said. "I mean, really saw it. How they are, how they treated you. I started noticing it with my own kids. Karen gets praised for everything. Anthony, they forget he's in the room." I waited. "I thought I was the golden child because I earned it," he said. "Turns out I was just the most convenient." I said nothing. "I'm sorry I didn't believe you," he added. "I'm sorry I told you Anna needed to toughen up. I was wrong about all of it." "Thank you," I said. "Doesn't fix anything," he said. "No," I agreed. "But it's a start. We didn't rebuild from there. We didn't start weekly dinners or family game nights. But the next time I ran into him at the grocery store, he hugged Brian, asked about robotics, told Anna her artwork was amazing. Small things, but real. Meanwhile, my parents stayed quiet. Their apartment lease was up for renewal, and the rent had jumped. No more fixed mortgage payments, no more quiet handouts from me. They applied for subsidized housing. My father, the same man who used to brag about putting me through college, was now standing in line at the DMV trying to get a senior bus pass. I didn't interfere. I didn't gloat. Because the truth is, I didn't want revenge. I wanted them to understand. And whether they ever admitted it out loud or not, I think they finally did. One last letter arrived. Dear Stephen, I hope your children are happy. I hope Anna knows she's loved, even if not by me. I hope Brian knows he's brilliant. I was a coward. I thought being a mother ended when you grew up. I didn't realize it was just the beginning. I hope you find peace. I hope they never doubt for a second that they were enough. I'm sorry I couldn't be the grandmother they deserved. Mom. I read it twice. No anger, no resentment. Just that dull ache again. The sound of a door closing after you've already left the house. I tucked the letter away. Not to revisit it, not for closure, just as a reminder that sometimes people only see clearly when the lights go out, and sometimes the only way to stop the cycle is to walk away from the fuse before it's lit. 2 years passed, quietly, steadily, like a wound healing under a sweater. Slow, unnoticed, but real. Anna turned 10. She asked for colored pencils, a sketchbook, and strawberry pancakes. She didn't mention her grandmother. Not once. Brian, now 14, won a state robotics tournament. I took the day off to drive him and Anna upstate for the finals. On the way back, he sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window. You think they ever talk about us? He asked. I didn't pretend not to know who he meant. Maybe, I said, but that's their past. We're our future. He nodded. I'm glad we walked away. Me too, kid. Me too. We didn't just walk away. We built something new. Our home is full now, full of music, of half-finished Lego sets on the coffee table, of watercolor paintings drying in the sunroom, of books stacked in corners, of laughter, the real kind. Holidays became ours. No fancy china, no forced smiles, just pancakes on Christmas morning, Halloween decorations that stayed up too long, birthday cakes made from box mix and decorated with way too many sprinkles. Once, Anna brought home a school assignment. Write about someone you admire. She chose Brian. He protects people, she'd written, even when it's hard. I read it twice. Then I asked her if she wanted to mail a copy to Grandma. She said no, but she smiled when I asked.
And that was enough. We never reconciled with my parents. The letters stopped. The call stopped. Jacob kept his distance, but he was kinder now. He sent Brian a congratulations card after the robotics win. Anna a birthday card with a sketch pad she loved. Maybe that was his way of changing, quietly, no big speech, just doing better. As for me, I finally stopped trying to earn love from people who didn't know how to give it. I stopped bleeding into other people's needs just to feel like a good son. And I learned this. Being a parent isn't about biology. It's about showing up every day, in the mess, in the quiet, in the moments no one sees. It's about protecting your kids, even if that means protecting them from people with your last name, especially then. One evening, Anna and I sat on the porch, watching the sun bleed orange into the sky. She leaned against my side and said, I don't think about them much anymore. Is that okay? It's more than okay, I said. It means we made something better. She smiled. Inside, Brian was setting the table. Our little family. Not perfect, not traditional, but real and whole.